Hey guys, Iron Dragon SC here, coming to bring you the update and a running video for the RC4 drive, the Beast version 1 converted to an R3 and hammer transfer case. Let's take you in for a closer look. Alright guys, so here's where I'm at right now. I have gotten to the point where the center drive shaft turns out it was just a thread lock problem. Knew I should have put thread lock in it in the first place, but from what they told me, it did have thread lock on it. So, a little mad about blowing up 2 of those, but got it running reliably now. The shifting servo is the same servo and linkage arm. Pretty much just ripped everything off of the R2 transmission. Even the R2 transmission mount, drilled a hole in it and bolted it right here to the side of the chassis. Barely clears the transfer case, so in case I switch to a different servo that might be a problem, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Loving the slipper clutch on here so far. High gear runs pretty good. I don't know any test officially yet, and since I can't look up the old gear ratios, I can't actually tell you anything about it, or I can't actually be specific, but I'm thinking that the high range is higher and that the low range is much lower. So that's more torque down low and more speed up high, which I'm not actually happy about, but I think I'll get around it. So yeah, let's take her out for a spin real quick, show you what she's got. Like I said, in high gear it does seem to run faster, but I don't have any actual numbers to feed you that. Still pretty quick, still having steering problems. Going to try to make that front axle a pan hard, because I'll come in closer later and tell you what's wrong with it. I'm having some problems during suspension articulation. This axle will come up and the plastic rod end of this link will come up and contact the spur gear during full articulation, so I'm probably going to rip that link off and turn it into a pan hard setup. I'm going to try to, no guarantees, but I don't know how to do it, but I'll try it out, see how it works, just to get it out of there, keep from rubbing on there, because it's wearing down that link pretty bad. Low gear has no trouble now pushing through a bunch of heavy brush. The old one just get caught up in it. This one just chews to it, unlike the other one. The other one may have bogged down a little, but this one barely bogs down at half throttle, but just keeps pulling. Coming up the rock chute, soon to be rock chute, you can tell the difference in the ride quality just because of that motor sitting up higher. It's not down on that chassis plate like it used to be. However, I think that's mostly due to the fact that I took that big heavy Tonka body up off there. And that's also going to need some modification to fit it back on here now that it's gone. And I'll see if I can get that gear to tweak for you. As far as modifications done to the course itself, I have extended the canyon out much further than it used to be now. It wraps all the way around. And now the course, instead of going over the rock pile that I'm standing on, it goes down into this drainage ditch and out the other side. So we'll see how that goes right now as well. Here we go, coming out of the canyon, down into that drainage ditch. Goes down pretty good. High gear is a little higher, has a lot less reduction to it than it used to. So unfortunately that does mean that I have to shift into low a lot more often than I used to. But like I said, low being really torquey like it is, I don't have the wheel speed that I used to. Here we go, still climbing up the hill. Like I said, I don't have that wheel speed anymore. And after we get up, there's that gear. In case case you can hear it. Especially during when that wheel's up at the travel limit. That's mainly when it is. After we go up that hill right there, we now have to make it over this pipe. It is hard because of the brush it is on the sides. It'll spin you off pretty fast. This truck really does not have, never had that much steering to begin with. And now that it doesn't have the wheel speed to spin those front tires faster than the others, still was pretty hard. And that's what this truck is, and probably always will be to me, is a big, heavy torque monster that mainly can just push its way through anything that's in its way. Rocks, it'll just push its way through it, just like it always has. So for now, this is back to the shop. See what I can modify with it to make it run better. See if I can work on that 3-link panhard. Still doing pretty good on that back end with the bumper. Haven't had any troubles with that. The winch, perfectly fine. Good view of it spinning all on its own down in there. It does have the hammer transfer case, which is a 1 to 1.47, so it does have a lower range. So I guess if I wanted more wheel speed, I could go with the Triton, which is a 1-to-1 transfer case, but I really don't need the wheel speed of this. I prefer that low end torque, because I've noticed it does a lot better on the rocks with that low end torque now. But yeah, low gear, plenty of torque, overabundance of torque. Overabundance of torque does not make up for lack of traction though. So for now, this is still Iron Dragon SC. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or I have this uploaded to RC Sparks, I'll see you next time.